wake up, hit 100 push-ups, then I'm at my route. Check on my stocks, see how they looking, then I'm sliding out. When you start seeing your progression, you stop having doubts. And what's the point of having clout if you can't cash it out? True to this game, and I'm a lifer, ayy. Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy.
Welcome back on another beautiful Wednesday. What is good with you, wealthy people? It's your boy, your mans, David Ballard, one half of the Black Wealth Renaissance crew. You know what we're here to do. I'm here with my brother from another. Jalen, how you feeling?
What up, y'all? It's your boy, Jalen, man. I just dropped my damn phone. Y'all probably heard that in the background. But I'm doing good, man. I cannot
I was wondering what
complain.
happened. I look like you kicked the camera, too.
Nah, no, my phone just kind of went into the tripod. So, yeah. Sorry, guys. But, man, I'm doing great. I cannot complain. I'm amazing. Blacktastic. How about you, bro?
Man, if I'm be honest with everybody, today been one of those days, bro.
Man, talk to me about it. It's cool.
Man,
this is a safe space, man.
One of them days where you wake up and you really just don't feel it.
One of them days where you just like, fuck the bullshit. Sorry for cursing.
I was trying not to curse. Yeah, I was trying
not
to curse.
Sorry for cursing so early into the broadcast, people. I apologize.
I was trying to avoid it. I try to give us at least like a solid 10 minutes here
I
before
know.
I let
I'm
one
sorry.
of them fly.
But
especially the F-bomb. But yeah, that exactly though. Like just that feeling of like just kind of apathy, tired, just not really feeling it, bro. And it's, again, part of those lessons and things with entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
On the days when you don't feel like doing it, you still got to get out and perform. And that's what it is with the pod, man. Like, I'm not about to let a feeling dictate how I'm going to move, because discipline is doing stuff whenever you don't feel like doing it. So even though it may have felt that way starting off, kind of getting into it, getting ready to pod, you know, it's kind of lifted my spirits, lifted my energy. I definitely think corporate life is a part of the drain on that, because fuck them people wholeheartedly. If you're listening, fuck you. But no, man, I'm ready, dog. I'm excited. Another great installment of the pod. We got some great topics to go through for y'all today. And yeah, I'm ready to get into it. But before we do,
I hate before that, I do hate that you're feeling that way. But I felt like that many times, like over the past 2-3 weeks, I was feeling like that at work. So I understand. I definitely can empathize with your sentiments. But like you said, is that discipline piece where you really just have to push through it, even whenever you don't feel like doing it. Just building that mental toughness, getting those reps in, even whenever you don't feel like doing it. That's what's going to take you over to the next level, because it's easy to have a great game, or it's easy to do great things whenever you're just feeling great. But whenever you're not feeling down, you can still overcome that. That's where you really just start seeing those wins start to come out.
Indeed. Just not to harp on it too much with that whole, you know, not really feeling it, but just speaking more to the discipline piece, you'll still show up to that job every day and do what you got to do when you don't feel like it. So treat your business the same way.
Treat your life the same way, bro. Not even
Facts.
just your business, like your life. There's plenty of times where we get beat down at the job, where we show up every day. You come home, you want to just chill. So what you do? You go jump in the shower, go hit the bed, go lay down, or you go turn on the TV and you go watch something. You go scroll on Instagram. You do all
For
of these
hours,
things.
Yeah.
Are you on TikTok? You do all of these things to decompress and to get away from the job. But that's whenever you got to once again push through, especially if you're not satisfied at the job, right? Or if you're feeling like you just want a whole different outcome in life. If you're one of those people where you feel like you're satisfied where you're at in life, you feel like, hey, you know, I can take some time to scroll and do all of those things, not speaking to you. I'm speaking to the people who you feel like, one, I'm not satisfied in this position. Two, I don't even like this job. I don't want to be here at all. Or three, I'm not just satisfied with something in my life. So you're working on either obtaining a new degree, a new certification, picking up a new hobby, anything like that. And you're procrastinating because you're feeling like you're drained, or you just don't want to after you get off of work. That's when you got to push through. And look, there's going to be people, but I got kids. I got a kid too. My kid is not very active right now, like with sports. No, I'm talking about like with sports and like extracurricular activities.
So you're not of age yet.
Yeah, I can't speak to that sentiment, but I can speak to what it's like whenever you get off of work and then You got to come home. You got to get the kids together and everything like that. Shout out to my boy David. He works around with me so we can pod and everything, make sure that the little man is down. And shout out to my wife for picking up the slack whenever I got to do things. But I understand it's a lot, but you can't let being tired or being drained be the reason that you don't take that next step or you don't put the time in to develop those skills and get to the next level that you want to be in life.
Thanks. Make me think about what Paris had told us that time of all them years back in Houston. He said he wake up every day. He got a clock. They look at a life clock because we all got a set expiration date.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. That life clock.
Damn, that
You know,
life
average
clock
life
was-
expectancy for 76 black man, 76 years. That wasn't nothing we shared on the pod before, I don't believe. Like I think the average life expectancy for a
I
black
think
man
he
is
might have
76
spoken
years.
about that on the pod.
It was after the show.
Really?
It was after the show. Yeah. So that was something that we never did get an opportunity to share with everybody. But just context for everyone. He has a life clock, an app on his phone where every day he logs in and just assuming that he would live to 76 years old, subtracting his current age from it. And every day, you know, he looks at it like, this is how much time I got left. And it just gives you a different sense of urgency. Because some of those times, you know, we talked about it on the pod before, rest is important, but you can't let rest overshadow the work. We all need rest, but don't get too comfortable.
I just don't get overzealous in the rest.
Yeah.
Don't overindulge in the rest. But I'm still an advocate of rest.
Indeed. Yes, sir. Well, all right, man. Let's roll into it, guys. We got another great episode here for you today. Before we get to the meat and potatoes, we gotta ask what we always ask y'all. Make sure y'all leave us that 5-star rating and review.
We
You know
need
what to
it.
do. We need that. Got one on the last episode. Shout out to Omar Ali.
Shout out
good
to our
brother,
guy Omar.
y'all.
Yes, sir.
If y'all hadn't caught that episode, highly suggest you go back and listen to it. Very influential entrepreneur out there in Atlanta doing really big things in the real estate and in the bridging business and politics space for Black entrepreneurs. So definitely a good listen. And yeah, that was just a great one. Glad that you enjoyed it. I don't have the review pulled up to shout out the particular person, but you know who you are. We love you for tuning in, tapping in, and leaving that rating and review. So y'all do that for us. Now, Jalen, before we get into it, I think you had something that you wanted to share before we get to today's main topic, right?
Yes, sir. So I got a little clip I wanted. I'm gonna say shout out to Joe, man. So let me see if I can play a little inspirational.
Are you trying to get us hyped up, pumped up? Pump it up.
Not to that level. Do my thing. I'll be chill out. That's hilarious.
Nigga, a Joe Budden fan.
I'm not a fan of his music.
Nigga like Joe Budden music.
A, avoid negative sources, people, places, things, and bad habits. B, believe in yourself. C, consider things from every angle. D, don't give up and don't give in. Don't let a damn thing get you down. E, enjoy life today. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow never comes. F, family and friends are hidden treasures. Talk to them and enjoy their riches. G, give more than you plan to give each day. H, hang on to your dream. I, ignore the bullshit. J, just do it. K, keep on trying no matter how hard it may seem, it will get easier. L, love yourself first and most, love God always. M, make it happen. N, never let them see you sweat. O, open your eyes to see everything around you. P, practice make perfect. Q, quitters never win and winners never quit. R, read, learn, study about everything important in your life. S, stop procrastinating. T, take control of your own destiny. U, understand yourself first so that you can better understand others. V, visualize it. W, wanting more than anything. X, you already marked your spot in the world. Y, you are unique with all God's grace and no one can replace you. Z, zero in on your target and go for it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So-
OG.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
What
lie.
you call that? The inspirational alphabet?
I don't know,
alphabet?
but
I don't know. I like it. But
yeah, I came across that. I was like, once I read it, once I watched it, I was like, man, I want to go do some shit.
So, okay. All right, let me ask you this. Which one of those of the alphabet stuck out to you the most?
Ooh. If I just had to go off the top of my head, and it's one that's right on the top of my tongue, I can't.
Okay, well, why you thinking? I'm going to just share
yeah.
mine then. So, for me, it was the F. Friends and families are hidden treasures. Spend more time talking to them.
I got mine.
That is something, that I struggle with. And whenever I hear stuff like that, it resonates in me. Like, all right, man, let me pick up the phone and call. Cause my friends and family, they joke with me. They talk bad about me all the time. Like, nigga, if we text you, you might hit us back a day and a half, 2 days later. Like, so, just that was something that resonated with me. They're hidden treasures. I find a lot of joy in getting to talk to those people. Sometimes just those conversations with the people that are close to you can lift your spirits in those days like today.
That's a good one. Now you make me feel bad because mine was more so self-centered, which is the love your self and most of all love God. That was the
Yeah.
one that
That ain't
I like.
self-centered, bro.
So yeah, loving yourself and loving God. Once again, because peace comes from within, and I just feel like a lot of people in the world, hate to generalize, but I feel like a lot of people try to find peace in something else or find peace in someone else. When peace and happiness comes from loving yourself and being in tune with who you are, understanding what you like. Like it's okay to tell somebody, "I don't like this. Never gonna like it. It is what it is." So,
And don't forget that loving God part, bro.
yes, sir. And
That part of
loving God.
being in tune with the Creator.
Yeah,
That's
because
always a
yes, sir. Like even the creative part, right? Because Tanae sent me something this morning. She actually sent me a scripture. I'll read it out. But it was just like, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your heart and minds as well as live in Christ Jesus. And because it was just, I was talking to her about some stuff yesterday, and like, I don't know if I should schedule my test for my CompTIA this month or not. And sometimes you, like you say, you just gotta be, not sometimes, all the time, you need to be in tune with the Creator, and just know that faith over fear will get you through it.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And like that old folks saying always go, if you gonna worry, why pray? And if you pray, why you worry?
You're right. You're right. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
indeed.
Man, let's get into it, dog. What we got
Okay.
cooking up for today, man?
So, man, the big topic that I want to discuss today, and I think is very key with the economic times and uncertainty that we living around right now, and that is the conversation about having respect for money, and more importantly, how is it dangerous to lose that respect for money? Because a lot of times, whenever we think about money, we think about what it can get us and not what it is. Right? Because money is just a tool at the
Yeah.
end of the day. It's just a tool to exchange value. And if our relationship with that tool isn't healthy, it can show up in different ways in our lives and present negatively and have negative effects on our lives. So that's really what I wanted to get into today with us. And this is not like talking about it from like a fear or a scarcity standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
but just understanding that it's a tool. It ain't a toy. Like it's not some plaything. It's not just something that's for play. It's not all just about you having fun and a good time. It is something that is used to secure your financial future. So just kind of putting it like defining what does it mean to have respect for money, right? That means you know how to earn money. You know how to keep money. You know how to take that money you've earned and kept and put it places to make it grow. You recognize that money is the power to create choices, protect your freedom, and build your legacy. And it helps you avoid reckless, ego-driven activities and self-sabotaging things that like deter you from your long-term goals. Because we joke about it, we played about it a few times on the pod. People will say a $5 coffee in keeping you broke. It's not necessarily keeping you broke, but these are certain things. Everything has an opportunity cost. If you're spending $50 a day on frivolous things, what is that $50 a day costing you?
Okay, pause before you go even further. You just said a lot of great things that I kind of want to take it back. So one of the first things is I like how you just kind of opened up what the having respect for money means, right? Knowing how to earn it, keep it, and grow it, recognizing its power to create that choice, the freedom, and everything. The things that you were going into about how the $5 coffees and everything, those are your habits, which is formed by your relationship with the money, right? You're talking about, hey, the $5 coffee isn't what's keeping you down, but let's take a deeper dive, right? Is this just because one is convenient, or is this like an impulse? What is the actual root of you buying coffee every day away from home? And then what happens? Are you using spending as like a coping mechanism? Because sometimes that's also what happens, right? We use spending as a coping mechanism. We have a bad day at work, and then I see the memes of people every time like, I'm just gonna buy some shit. Like, I'm just gonna go do retail therapy.
And that's good whenever you mention it, using it to cope, because that's another way that it presents, especially like in disadvantaged communities. A lot of times, we don't have a lot, and a lot of times when your money, because we done been there before, where your money, you got more month than money. So you feel like you working hard all the time and you not reaping no benefits or rewards from it. So fuck it, why not reward myself? Why not do that? But that instant gratification in the short term robs you of shit and creates more problems in the long term.
Mm. And that was the last point that you brought up at the beginning, was the avoiding the reckless and ego driven spending, because it can sabotage your long term goals. Like you just said, this $50 a day. What does that calculate to if you did it over the course of a full year, 365 days?
Let's see. Handy dandy calculator. 50 times 365. That's $18,250 in a year. That's your down payment right there.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then once again, the opportunity cost that you brought up, right? What if that was put into just a high yield savings account? Or what if that was put into a, a market account where you're investing in an S&P 500, right? And you're getting 8% return. What does that then look like?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's a easy and slippery slope that you can fall down. So let's get into it, right? Like, how does that show up? How does losing respect for money show up, and how does it appear? Because we're kind of starting to allude to it and just want to get into it, right? So
Mhm.
one of the biggest ways that we see it is with lifestyle creep. Oh, that's a topic that we've talked about a lot of times on the podcast. Just because you make more money does not mean you need to spend more money. That raise, that big lick you hit, that big tax refund you just got. Just because you got more bread does not mean that you automatically need to spend it. You need to think strategically about it. I'm not saying you can't spend any of it. You need to be strategic about how you're going to do this, because, again, having respect for money is doing what? Earning it, keeping it, and growing it. If you just spend it and all, you're not showing it the proper respect, and it's going to run away from you whenever you really need it.
I think that's a
Another
really good point. Hold on, before you pass lifestyle creep, because I want to throw this in, right? A lot of the times, whenever we think more money means it's going to solve my problems, right? Like, the reason why I'm not able to get ahead is because I'm making 30,000, or I'm gonna say middle. I'm making 50,000, right? I'm making $50,000 a year. That's the reason why I'm not able to get ahead. And in actuality, Yahoo Finance just put out a article the other day on May 23rd. Actually, this is from last year, May 23rd, 2024, but still holds true till today. The number might fluctuate a little bit. Over 1/3 of Americans earning $200,000 more are living paycheck to paycheck.
crazy work. Half the people earning over 100K living paycheck to paycheck.
So, like, what does that mean? That means that it's not a money problem, it's an individual problem, or it's a lack of
A
respect of the
lifestyle
money
problem.
problem. Yeah.
It's this money, especially when it comes to that 6-figure mark, right? Because it's been something that's been glorified for as long as we've been doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crossing that 6-figure mark is seen as like this entry into the upper middle class and this lifestyle that you should be able to afford. And that prioritizing the optics and trying to keep up with the Joneses, for lack of a better term, that's what's really keeping most people in those situations. It's like, you think, oh man, and this is notwithstanding, we understand that it costs more to live in 2025 than it did in 2020. Still, notwithstanding, we have not made the necessary adjustments with lifestyle. And a lot of times, whenever we get more money, we do think we should spend more. We don't budget for the increase in our wages. We don't budget for the potential future expenses that we know are going to happen. You know something's going to happen. So why is it that over half of the people in the country can't afford $1,000 emergency? It's all comes back to that lack of the respect, and really, to me, a sense of entitlement when it comes to money. I definitely think influencer culture and social media has played a role in exacerbating and making the problem worse, because now you see regular people people who would be regular people, not celebrities, not athletes, living lavish lifestyles, and they're on the same internet as you. This is somebody that may have even been from the same town as you. So now you looking like
Working the same
shit.
job as you.
Shit, if they could do it, why can't I? But you looking at the optics again, this curated hocus pocus world that's social media versus like the reality of a lot of folks' situation. Motherfucker might look like they having it on social media. They doing money spreads with their rent money.
Right before they
doing
go
money-
pay it.
They doing money spreads with the dope boys. They doing money spreads with their re-up money. That's the shit they don't like to talk about. These niggas like to flex their re-up money like you really having it. A lot of y'all ain't having it like that.
Man, I don't want to derail the conversation, so I'm not going to bring that point up. But someone did talk about like the numbers that a regular dope boy makes. Nigga making less than minimum wage, bro.
Yeah, when you think about it, especially if you ain't moving no peas or nothing.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying. Like an average,
What?
just regular nigga.
You
like,
gram grinding?
yeah,
Nigga, go to McDonald's. You'll make more money over there.
bro. Literally, because it was a video I was watching on YouTube, and like he literally asked, he was like, "How much you making a week or whatever?" I forgot how much bro said. Maybe like $500 a week or less than that or whatever.
I could believe it.
He was like,
with a
bro,
lot of transactions.
and he was like, bro, for the amount of time that you're risking just being a dope dealer and everything, and the risk of getting shot or being robbed or anything, nigga, you could literally go work at McDonald's and make more than this.
And I get it. It's a pride thing. It's an ego thing. I don't want to work at no damn McDonald's. I
Nah,
get you,
I
my
don't.
brother. I opened this episode talking about, fuck them people. I get it. Like a lot of times we don't want to be a part of that system, but then it comes back to instant gratification versus delayed gratification. That idea of keeping up with and appearing to be wealthy. And I think that's something that presents itself in the Black community worse than everywhere. And I might be biased because I spend more time with Black folks, but to me, that quote Tim gave us a long time ago still sticks and rings true. Black folks like to show money, they don't like to grow money, which means
Facts.
they don't have real respect for money. Because if you don't want to grow it, that's the third part of having respect for it. It just that flashy shit is what keeps a lot of people behind. And that's one of the biggest ways that I really see that show up. But what are some other ways that it'll show up, right?
So
we kind of you got it?
Yeah, I got it. So number 2 would be like financial avoidance and irresponsibility, right? You're ignoring your budget. One, you're not doing a budget, or you might have started the budget, then you stop doing it, skipping saving, missing
Never
bills.
do that.
Yeah, skipping your savings.
Pay yourself first, nigga. Then you
Missing
listen
bills,
to us.
not reading contracts, leases, or credit agreements, and
That's
emotional-based financial decisions, revenge spending, and fear of missing out on investing. And before we go too much further, David, I do want to pause. I want to ask you a question. Recently, have you found yourself being, or we can get through all 4 of them if you wanted to. And I want to ask you yourself, have you found yourself falling into any of these traps in the recent, or even as you became more financially responsible?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest one probably will be FOMO investing.
Mm-hmm. When most people think of life insurance, they think of death benefits. But did you know life insurance can also help you build wealth while you're still alive? With cash value policies like whole life or universal life insurance, you're not just leaving a legacy, you're building one. These policies grow over time with tax-deferred cash that you can access for things like retirement, emergencies, or even investments. Plus, living benefits can protect you during life's most unexpected moments, like critical illness or disability, giving you the financial flexibility you need when you need it most. It's not just insurance. It's a tool in your financial tool belt. Visit the link below to learn more and start building wealth today.
As I became more financially responsible and I was more of a novice investor. I'm not no pro stock trader. I am not a wealthy nigga that trades for a living. So don't take my word as law, right? But whenever I very first started to get more active in the markets and I gained that respect and discipline to put money off aside, I started chasing plays. I was involved in some Discord groups and, signal chats, and I might have missed a signal, but here I am trying to run and catch it on the back end. That type of activity cost me a lot of money. I'll say it like that, just because I really, really, really wanted to, like, I just wanted to be a part of it. And if I say anything else, probably this is just a recent situation. I don't really blame myself for it all the way, but I still do blame myself for it. With my car, I thought that shit was done. It is not done.
Damn.
It is not done. No, it's not. Insurance company dropped the ball and they didn't make the payments that they were supposed to make. So I technically missed bills behind that shit. Now I got that on my credit report. And
Damn.
yeah. So that's the situation I'm currently working through
Fuck.
resolving. Yeah. So like, just even though,
Does that
I
also
probably
fall in
could.
like reading contracts and shit too?
I guess it does, bro, because realistically, like, I should have just kept making the payments even though I
Mhm.
thought things were good. Now, that situation has been a whole clusterfuck. My insurance company dropped the ball from the beginning, and it's led to way more problems than I
Mhm.
thought it would be for a simple total loss claim. Coming from a claims adjuster, I thought I'd
Yeah,
be done in a month. Here we are 6 months later, still dealing with it, right?
that's
But
crazy.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
terrible adjusters, by the way.
Yeah, I wanna fight a lot of people right now, but it is what it is. But yeah, it still shows up. To say that, illustrate and drive home that point, it does still show up even whenever you're on your financial literacy
Mhm.
journey or further along. Cause like, by a lot of the standard measures, I'm good with money. I save my money, I invest money, I pay down debt. I'm not
Mhm.
debt free, but I'm on a consistent regimen of paying down debt. I'm doing a lot of the right things.
Mhm.
It's just sometimes you got those blind spots. It goes to show that even though we're a part of this, and we always tell you we're teaching as we go. It's a never stop journey, never ending journey when it comes to this financial literacy thing. What
Mm.
about you? Do you see any of these showing up?
Yeah, just off of the first two that we've definitely talked about for sure. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I don't always stick to my budget, or like I don't always do my monthly budget. So then I gotta go back, and once you actually, the thing that I like about budget is it makes you very conscious. So like whenever you're actively doing it, keeping track of it, you're like, damn, okay, this is how much money. But the minute you might be like, oh man, I'm gonna get to it next Sunday. I'm gonna do it Sunday after next or whatever, but you don't follow it, that's whenever you really start to see that discipline aspect come into place. Because sometimes you just do bank account accounting where you're like, you know what, I got it, this or whatever. So that's one of the things that I've definitely struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Emotional based financial decisions. I used to do that, but I haven't really been doing that as much. But I've just been investing at a very minimum as of late. I haven't been investing as aggressively as I would like to, but I haven't done the financial. But I know whenever NFTs were hot, I was doing a lot of those things, right? And I was
Yeah.
chasing plays, trying to 10x and everything like that. So the reason why I ask that is just to show the audience that yes, it happens, right? It comes up, but that's why it's called changing your lifestyle. It's called discipline, because you work at it every day, right? You don't get this perfect. You don't become perfect. I'm pretty sure even some of the most wealthiest people still have terrible habits that they have to work on.
Indeed, indeed. And just on a tip with that budgeting thing, I don't know if you still do the manual spreadsheet thing. I
I
was doing that.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that for a while, and then I just really had to start like doing a cost benefit analysis when it came to my time. If I'm being honest, like, yes, it hits different whenever you have to manually enter every transaction, but man, that shit takes too much time. I'm be honest. That shit
You
take
ain't
too much
lying,
time,
nigga.
man. Go download a fucking app or something, bro. Stop bullshit. Get an app. I use Monarch Money. That shit's cool. It puts it on charts. You can set your budget in there. You can see what category. Every now and again, you got to go back and recategorize some transactions, but it's a lot more efficient for time. Don't go download it. Don't go download it. Don't go download it.
Okay, send me
I'm
the
gonna send
link.
you a referral
Send me
link,
the
nigga.
link. Send me
Yeah.
the
And
link,
then
man.
guess what?
We
Since they
both
giving
get
a free
paid.
pub, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But
Well, if you get paid,
if
I'm
I get
cool
some
with that.
bread, I'll shoot you some you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
cool.
Hopefully it just give us a free month or two of subscription. Hey, if y'all want to download an app, we're gonna put that in the show notes for y'all. Cause I'm telling y'all, like, I love the spreadsheet thing. That was something that we're really big on whenever we were first coming out into the space. It was a
Hmm.
tool that we like to reference and use. When it comes to time, if you don't have the time, like a person like myself, I work on average 60 plus hours a week. So
Yeah, you just don't.
I don't got the time. I don't really got the time. And I'm doing business on the side outside of work. So yeah. So yeah, that'll be in the show notes for y'all. But moving forward, man, other ways that like, losing respect for money shows up. And that's something that we've kind of already referenced. That entitlement, man. You entitled to think that the world owe you something and you're not a good steward with your money. You value instant gratification. You say shit like, I work hard, so I deserve this. And you ignore your bigger goals. You're not prepared for emergencies at all. And you can't afford $1,000 emergency. If you can't afford to pull $1,000 out without going to credit, that's some time to reevaluate. Like that really means you need to reevaluate your stewardship over your finances, because that lesson that we talked about from Richest Man in Babylon a couple weeks ago, paying yourself first, that'll eschew a lot of those problems. If you move the money before you do anything else and you operate like you got 20% less money than you already had, you'll be much better off. Much better off.
So if you just transfer it before you even see it, like have something set up with like your bank or your job where you can just transfer it directly to another account, one of the best ways for you to get into the habit of paying yourself first is treating it like a bill.
And I want to have a whole another little aspect and point of this. It also shows up in business, right? Whenever you feel entitled to people's money in business, you see stuff like what we see with a lot of Black-owned restaurants. And I love my people, but y'all niggas be price gouging.
Shit.
Nigga, is no reason them lamb chops was $35 by themselves. And I got to spend $5 for the mac and cheese on the side. $5 for the collard greens. And you charge me 20% gratuity. Like, you pimping us, nigga. Stop pimping us. Like you feel entitled to people money. You start doing fugazi shit. You start doing shit like what the Turkey Leg Hut was doing. Overpriced ass turkey legs. I never really did. I never did eat there. I'm not a turkey leg person, but $40 for a turkey leg with some mac and cheese and shit on it, that's kind of crazy. And you see how that entitlement just showed up in that business with all the shit that they got going on now. Them boys, damn, they got a RICO case on them.
Damn near do have a RICO case on them.
Y'all was trapping out this whole
bro did
fucking
arson.
employees. What are we doing?
Yeah, bro did arson to a rivalry business. Like, it's really ridiculous.
You are not a drug dealer, bro. You're supposed
unless he was a drug dealer covering up with a business.
Crazy work.
Yeah, but I ain't got
Speaking of that, how does that show up again with the respect for money? As a community, it has a real negative impact. And that's, we can see it on the business side. I think somebody made that analogy of like, we got to stop running our businesses like crack dealers.
Yeah.
Stop treating treating customers like fiends.
That was a good one.
That's a lack of respect. That's a lack of respect, And whenever we don't have that respect for money as a collective, you start seeing scams rise because, niggas want to take the quick, easy way. The Susu circle, the blessing circle, whatever y'all want to call it. Every time them come back around, I know niggas is having too much of a good time and they bullshitting for real.
What you mean they having too much of a good time? Too much money flowing, or what do you mean?
Yeah, a little bit too much, man. Because if y'all out here scamming that hard, y'all got a little bit too much extra cash. Like, think about it. Anytime those types of things come up, and we talking about, stewardship and how to grow money. Once you learn how to grow money, you know that 100% return in 6 months is unrealistic. In most instances, like there are very select cases where it can happen. But if the promise is, well, you can get your money back times 8. All you gotta do is get 8 people.
Guaranteed.
That's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee. You have to go convince 8 other people to believe the same thing you just believe. That's a scam.
Yeah, big scam.
Big scam. But whenever you don't have respect for money and really acknowledge how it grows, because if you study the market historically, 8% return in a year is great. Now, this last decade,
even if you study business, like, right, average return through the year is 20 to 30%.
So it's like you gotta look at it and
average
be like,
profit,
"Am I being?"
Sorry, not a return.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, but like you look at it and you're like, if they're telling me I can 3 or 4x my money in a span of 60 days, is that really realistic? Like, nah, it's not. It's not. And whenever these types of scams rise, really all that do is contribute to it worsening the economic problems, because somebody gonna get left holding the bag, and it's gonna put a bad taste in somebody's mouth about investing, which in turn leads to the wealth gap widening. Because niggas, let's be honest, we ain't got time to not be investing. I tell people this shit all the time. Like I was out and about in Dallas. I was talking to a young lady, and she works for an investment firm. So I asked her, like, do you invest for yourself? And she's like, no. Do you have a 4? No. Like, so what
She
are
ain't
we
even had
doing?
the full set up.
Nah, like, what are we doing? Like, you're over here
Bro.
executing trades and helping people build wealth, but you're not actively participating in it. Like, we have to participate. And that's something that's a hill I'm gonna stand on. Like, as a community, if you're somebody listening to this podcast, like, let us know if it's something that you want us to do. I could show you basically,
Yeah.
like, in a few minutes how you could get started. It's not, I don't need you to be an expert. I just need you to get started.
Honestly, with it, like you can, once you join a brokerage, like you can call the people who can, financial advisors, you can call financial advisors and they can give you advice. Once you're a part of the brokerage, like they're there. You can call them, you can ask them, hey, what are the markets doing right now? This is what I would like to achieve in life. And they can give you like financial advice. That's what they're there for, right? So you have that access. You just have to tell them what you want, your risk appetite and everything. Or if you want to educate yourself and pick your own stuff, like that's another thing. But it's not as complicated as you think it is.
Facts, big facts. And I just really want to stress, like, we can't afford to, as a community, not to do this. Like, as a community, we absolutely must partake and participate in equity markets. All the progress that our predecessors, our grandmas and grandpas, and all these people in front of us that made, it's really like a slap in the face to them if we not taking what the platform they built and building more on top of it. We talked about this before, like the generation that was the ones that had to do 401ks first, they got fucked, point blank period. That's what happened. They got shafted, no grease. We got to see it. So why would you let the same thing happen? That's disrespecting them.
Okay.
They learned it the
Time
hard
out.
way.
Pause.
Okay, all right.
So I just heard you say, they got shafted the hard way. Then other people
That's
be
why you
like,
said
well,
pause.
no, not even pause. Like pause on that. But like, right, their children could say, "Hey, my mom did this 401k shit. It didn't fucking work. So why the fuck am I going to go do it?"
Why not do it? And why didn't your mamas work? That's the better question to me. Did they sell at the bottom of a market when they really didn't need to? Because let's be honest, that's what happens to a lot of people. Now, again, I can't speak to the people that are retired, but okay, let's just think about the market today, right? When everything was going south, when the market entered a correction territory because of the economic uncertainty about tariffs, about a trade war, if they sold at the beginning of that, they'd have been down 20% from where we are today.
Yeah,
Just a little bit of patience. It really wasn't that long. It's like, what, a month and a half, 2 months?
Yeah.
But emotionally driven financial decisions create those types of problems. I seen a clip one time. It was a dude talking about everybody's talking about time in the market and all this. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. It's like, bro, you need to shut the fuck up. Because if you really study this stuff and you really look at it, historically speaking, nigga, you're going to win. Like, if you sat down, put some money in here consistently for 5 years and invested in legitimate companies, you don't even have to invest in a company. Go invest in VOO, VTI, ETF, SPY, any one of them, right? 5 years consistent, same dollar average. Your money's gonna be worth more than it was. And it's gonna be worth more than likely whatever inflation was during that time period. So I don't like that as an excuse, honestly. I think that's emotionally driven decisions. That's the same thing as like your cousin or uncle that failed as a real estate investor, had bad tenants as a landlord, and said, man, don't do real estate investing. But how many successful people we know that did real estate investing? It's like, who you taking your advice from,
Facts. The person who did it or the person who didn't achieve. Nah, I agree with you on that, but I'm pretty sure there's people out there that's gonna be like, hey, my mom was the person that got shafted and they were the test dummy, so I don't believe in that shit because I ain't see it work. And then I just feel like that's a generational curse that's passed down that we do have to.
If you don't want to invest in a 401k, do it yourself. Get a regular brokerage account. Get a Roth IRA. Get a Roth 401k. You can have access to these vehicles on your own without having a fiduciary or financial intermediary in between. We live in the age of technology. You can literally start investing on your phone while listening to this podcast.
You can do that by using M1. We'll put a link in the show notes.
Oh, I'm glad you said. I made a TikTok video about that.
About M1?
Yeah, how you can get started on M1. It's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, we're going to have to drop that.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes for y'all. I literally show you how to get started, everything you need to do. 2 minutes.
Bet. All right, let's keep on trucking along. There was one thing that I want to say. Having a respect for money isn't worshiping it, right? It's
Facts.
honoring the responsibility that comes with managing it. And I think that is a key difference too, is having a respect versus worshiping or the love of money. Once again, just understanding how it's a tool, how it can get you from point A to point B, and having the respect for it doesn't mean that you're in love with it, and doesn't mean that you're going to allow it to dictate your life.
Talk to him, killer. Because like if you don't master your money, then money will be the master of your life. We see it all the time. Lottery winners, pro athletes, they get a bunch of money with no skill set to management, and then they go broke shortly thereafter because they never took the time to actually master the skill of respecting money. Not worshiping money, but respecting it. Knowing how to, again, earn it, keep it, grow it. If you look at it only as a toy, something that you play with, something you spin and trick off, it's going to be the master of your life. My favorite quote from the Bible always going to be, he who is borrowed is slave to the lender. That's biblical. Like, if you don't have that respect for your finances, you always going to be on the short end of the stick for somebody else.
Okay. I'm smelling what you're stepping in, my brother. Let's see.
Yeah.
What's the next part you wanted to go through with this one?
So, I mean, just again, what it means, just actionable tips for everybody. Respect for money means that you're ready for things, right? So that means you know what your credit looking like. You actively saving every month. You're working toward building that emergency fund. And we get it, life happens. It may not always stay at that 6 months, 3 months reserves. But whenever you knock down from it,
Fill it
your
back up.
goal is to always go get back. We all come upon hard times. We done shared some of our hard times with y'all. I was dead dick in the dirt broke in 2023. Nigga look at his account, said, man, I'm doing bad. But guess what?
Nigga couldn't afford to imagine.
I'm telling you, nigga. But you get back to a point where you're like, okay, all right, I got my feet up under me. Let me start putting this money behind. This right here, maybe I can go without that for now. I don't need to make these little purchases that might make me feel better in the short term, but I don't really need that shit. Just know what you're doing with your money and know what your money doing when you're not really paying attention. Be mindful of your little subscriptions and all that type of stuff. Those are things that creep up on us.
Yeah.
Download an app like Monarch Money, something like that, where you can actively monitor these types of things. Because a lot of times we spend more money in those type of things like subscriptions. That little $7 to $20 a month, that shit add up, man. If you got 10 of those, that's like $70 and $200.
And we just told you with $50 a month, $50 a day. That never mind. That's a little bit different.
I get no, but
Yeah.
still, that's all something. And you just want to, when you respect your money, that means you have a plan for it.
It's at least $1,200 if it's $100 a freaking month.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't build legacy on broken habits, guys. If we don't take some of these things seriously, budgeting, saving, investing, if we don't make that a part of our everyday life and walk, and I'm not saying again that you gotta sacrifice 100% of your lifestyle to do it. Go read Richest Man in Babylon. That 70-20-10 thing, it may not necessarily be feasible for today, but figure out your own formula. What works for you? Like, what can you realistically do? Can you realistically afford to save 10 to 20% of your money? At the bare minimum, 10. I don't care who you are, how much you make.
Yeah.
You should be trying to save at least 10% off the rip before you let
You
anything
definitely
happen.
need to at least be saving 10%. Like that's the bare minimum. And then you should work your way up. But let's just say you really at that low percent. Go at least down to 5. Do something.
Got to put something away, because then it give you something to feel like you work toward.
Mhm.
Imagine working all that time and you look and ain't shit in your bank account. It's going to just perpetuate that negative cycle. It's like a negative feedback loop. You just going to keep looking like, dang, I do all this hard work and I ain't got nothing to show for it. Let me spend my money before somebody else come take it.
That's a good way to look at it. So I definitely say you gotta understand that personal relationship with money. I kind of want to shout out to my guy Rakim Sabri because I think he's got a really great book.
Financially irresponsible?
Yes, sir. Building wealth is about more than just the money you make. It's about what you leave behind. At Black Wealth Renaissance, we believe in creating lasting legacies for the ones we love. But have you thought about what will happen to your family when you're no longer here? Life insurance isn't just about protection. It's a way to ensure your hard work today keeps working for your family tomorrow. It's your opportunity to leave a legacy that will support their family. Take the next step today. Protect your family, secure their future, and build a legacy you can be proud of. Click the link below to get started today.
Yeah, shout out to Rakim. He was a guest on the show.
I think he might have. Did he drop a different book too? I know for sure it's Financially Irresponsible, but I know he ended up like doing more work kind of like on financial trauma, like just really deep diving on
I don't know if
financial
he did
trauma.
a book or he got a series of articles on it.
Okay, it might be the series of articles though. I'll find it if you want to read about like just how financial trauma can affect you and how it could keep you from getting to your goals or how it can affect your relationship with money. And one of the reasons why you might be stuck in that negative feedback loop, I definitely say check that out about our brother Rakim Sabri, man.
Definitely. And one more little action step to piece of advice, bringing it back to how we started with the episode. The thing I said, your friends and family are your treasures, right? With those treasures, you need to be making sure you're having these types of conversations with those people. Let's not make money a taboo subject in our community. It's not pocket watching. It's not hating. It's not none of that. It's life. We all have struggles. We all have things that we deal with. And the more we're able to be transparent about those things, I think the better each and every one of us in the community will be.
Like, I'm glad you just brought that up, right? Because sometimes we might know that one aunt or that one uncle who's really paid and well off, and you just don't know what they do. You never really speak to them about that, right? So today I'm at Walmart speaking to one of the ladies. Her name is Miss Brenda. She just got back from her nephew's graduation. He graduated in mechanical engineering. Right. And she was like, they're talking at dinner. And he said something about he had a contact with NASA. And she said her son looked at him and was like, do you know your aunt right here is like actually a head engineer at NASA? She did something with going to Japan or whatever. So like just having those small conversations with your people and understanding like if you see that they are doing better, right? Don't be afraid to be like, how'd you get that? What did you do, right? Because there are trails. There's trails you can see. Sometimes people are like,
success leave clues.
yeah, and sometimes it kind of goes back up to what we were talking about, right? Sometimes people are just flexing, trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you can tell whenever people like genuinely have it and they have that respect for money, and you can see that, oh, this person talk about savings, or this I've heard this person talk about investing or anything like that, right? Don't be afraid to ask them to show you more. Like you said, don't be afraid to have these conversations at the dinner table or for the holidays. Don't be afraid to invite those type of conversations within your community. How can maybe you see your one homeboy is really good with money, like, you know, what's your saving method or what you doing to get to this like that?
Indeed. But guys, manage your
Also,
money.
say no to flex pressure, man. If you do have those friends that want to go out, get the section, do all of these things all the damn time, sometimes how my boy Cat Williams said, you got to tell them no.
no.
You
These
got
niggas
to
be
tell
wanting
them
to
no.
party, and you
You
got
got
to
tell them no. These
You
niggas
got
be
to
wanting
tell
to
'em no.
flex, and you've got to tell them no. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
uh,
real talk.
if
It's
you're
okay to
around
say
people,
no.
yeah,
It's okay to act your wage. It's okay to have goals. It's cool to have goals, bro.
fucking with that. I'll leave that at that. You got any other parts that you wanted to talk about for this one?
Oh, man, I think that's it. I just, losing respect for your money, that's gonna cost you in the future. That's
Yes,
the
sir.
real thing I wanna hammer home with that part of the topic. But we can move on.
Did you want to play this clip for this next one?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so next topic, man. What's the next thing we getting into with him, Killer? You ain't gonna give us no exposition, no nothing, nigga. Damn.
You're gonna listen to it and then we're gonna get some exposition.
Yeah, I come from 19 Keys the other day saying black excellence is the scam that replaced black power. He said, what's wrong with black excellence? I guess to some that might be a controversial statement because we've been so deeply indoctrinated into the idea of black exceptionalism that we think one athlete, one actor, one president, one rapper represents meaningful progress for black people as a whole. But the studies show that black median wealth will reach zero by the year 2053 if the current trends continue. Millions of us live in prison slave camps making lids for Starbucks cups for like 50 cents a day. The hood is as fucked up as it's ever been. But we got more millionaires than ever before. That shit is a scam. I think that's also the reason why we don't unify or strike and weaponize our labor in any of the industries that we dominate. The NBA, the NFL, the music industry. Because so rarely is one of us more than one step removed from poverty, so nobody's willing to risk it. We know we're being exploited by streaming. We make up all the labor and none of the ownership of the sports teams. Shit, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not saying we shouldn't strive for excellence as a people or as individuals, but we cannot make the mistake of confusing one of us getting out the hood with the progress of the group. We also have to look at the success of individuals that's achieved to the detriment of the masses. We be celebrating shit just because a nigga got some money. It don't matter who the fuck had to die. Like if niggas run around making a bag off the prison industrial complex, are we cheering that shit on? My homie reached out to me after I reposted.
Okay, so context, right? That was Vic Mensa talking about black wealth basically being a scam. Oh, I'm sorry,
How
or
does that make you feel,
black
Jalen?
excellence being a scam. Part of it, I feel like I don't think the black excellence thing is a scam. I do understand where they're saying it's more so symbolic than it is achieving actual progress, right? So I'm not going to say it made me feel wrong or anything. It definitely kind of opened up my thought process in general, just like, why do we just highlight this one person doing so well? Or like he said, right? Sometimes you're highlighting this person who is causing detriment to the community. And I'll speak about Diddy for example, right? Right now he's actually going through his trial, but whenever Diddy achieved like billionaire status, a lot of people championed him. Or let's talk about Jay-Z or anybody that achieved these.
Don't say a lot of people, nigga, us.
Yeah,
We.
us Black Author Renaissance on the page. We champion them,
Yeah.
right? But how was Diddy making some of his money? By selling liquor to black folks, right? Making it look cool. The Ciroc boys and
Exploiting his
everything.
artists.
Exploiting his artists, right? Doing all of these other things. There was lingerings about his violence and all these other things before that, but people didn't care. Even just some of the things that's being pumped into the hood by some of these artists that we may big up, right? I know we talked about like Lil Baby on the page buying these things, or all these other people like these investment things, and we big them up for doing these things, but at the end of the day, what are some of the other things that's happening, right? Like I think whenever Lil Durk was trying to buy O Block, that was a big story. People wanted to post that about him trying to buy O Block, but how many bodies did he catch in that neighborhood? How much turmoil and violence was put through that neighborhood by him and his posse?
So I hear that. I do have mixed feelings when it comes to what was said in there. I have no problem with highlighting black wealth. I think we should continue to do it. I think that realistically speaking, I want everybody to be wealthy, but that's not a reality. There's always going to be rich and poor. Again, that's biblical. This has been since the beginning of time. It's always going to be this way. But I do want to speak to the idea of black excellence replacing black power. And I think it's just because niggas got more money. Black power movement was a direct result of poverty, like extreme poverty. I was talking with it by my dad. Talking to my dad about this one time. He's like, bro, in the 80s, it was like 3 years I couldn't find work. Nigga, the reason he know his social security number and all that shit is because he remember it from filling out so many job applications.
Damn,
That's what he
really?
told me. He said for like 3 years, you
Doing
just
like
filling out job
stagflation?
Ask a lot of niggas in the 80s how hard it was for them to find work. Like a lot of the older dudes in the 80s, the early 80s, how hard it was to find work. Whenever people started having work and making money and all that black power shit kind of went out the window. Niggas wasn't struggling like they used to no
Damn,
more.
what them niggas was doing for them times, man? Why he was filling out these jobs? Like, what was he doing?
Well, my dad went on crack, but a lot of niggas was on crack.
Damn.
Just the reality of the situation. So like I get it, and I do think that to a point it isn't positive, which is why it's certain things that I don't want to highlight as much as Black Wealth Renaissance. Like certain industries, certain things that people are a part of. I definitely get that, because if you're doing more harm than good to us as a whole, yeah, I don't want to big you up for that. But we also got to be real about it, bro. This is America. Come on, bro. Like all that, yeah, we
And
want the radical revolutionary stuff, but realistically, that shit been out the window for a minute. The radical revolutionary now is getting the bag and then trying to use that bag to invest in your community. That's what's radical and revolutionary, in my opinion. So like,
also,
I'm never gonna knock a nigga for getting some bread.
also something else I kind of want to bring up. Like I said, I'm torn between both sides. The other side is like the business people that actually built businesses, right? The Black billionaires like a Robert F. Smith, right? How many people is he actually employing though, right? And I'm pretty sure his staff is diverse, but he's still giving Black people a chance. I'm pretty sure there's some type of opportunity where they could have possibly invested in the early days, get some equity or something like that. Or even just the fact that if this man's a billionaire, how many millionaires did he create? Or how many thousandaires did he create through his company just by giving them the opportunity to work there and not have to go through other means of like employment or anything like that, right? Like whenever someone does reach that level, I know we talked about there's not trickle down, but there is. If you're creating jobs, if you're doing all of these things, somewhere this money is also going to other people.
You passing the ladder back down.
Yeah.
Like you reach these levels, and to do so, you pass the ladder back down. So like, I'm not gonna say Black excellence is a scam, but I do think that there are problems with the way that we as a community highlight Black excellence. I just think that's more so the issue. And the term hashtag Black excellence, yeah, that is our Black power in a sense. So I do agree with that in that sentiment. We do look at it as people who have a seat at the table. Those are our leaders. Those are the people we champion. So I definitely get it, and those people aren't the same, right? That's like comparing a Jay-Z to a Muhammad Ali, right? I've been seeing a lot of Muhammad Ali old clips lately.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's algorithm stuff, but like, this man Muhammad Ali will get up there and talk about these white folks like dogs in front of their ass.
You're right.
It's just like,
Definitely
why
call
would I
him
go
a
fight
blue.
Yeah, like in their face, Whereas now the same people that we champion as like, leaders of the culture, they're looking for a seat at the table. They're working with these people. There is a financial incentive for them to do so. So like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm not knocking no Black man for getting paid. I only really have a problem whenever you're getting paid is a direct result, or the direct result of you getting paid is worsening Black people. Like, I hate scammer niggas. That's my beef. Fuck you, scamming ass
I definitely
niggas.
do hate them niggas.
Like, y'all niggas, y'all are a cancer in the community. Y'all over here really trying to sell people dreams and take their little bag and take their little bread to make your life better. Fuck y'all.
I was going to ask, how you felt whenever he talked about the difference between having so many millionaires and then the hood is still as fucked up or more fucked up than it's ever been. But you kind of talked about it, saying that it's America, but also whenever you're getting to this bag, you should reinvest into your community. Because once again, I do think that there are figures and there are people that you can say is Black excellent that doesn't get highlighted to the level of a celebrity, that are reinvesting into their communities, that are making positive impact, positive change. And I would call that Black excellence. The part that I will say is the symbolism, right? I don't know if you saw, speaking of symbolism, quick segue. I don't know if you saw that crazy damn statue that was in Times Square. It's like
Oh,
a
the Black lady?
12-foot Black lady.
Yeah, and
that's
I'm like, what
pudgy,
the hell?
looks.
Hey, come on, man. Don't do sis. I'm a big bone brother myself. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to do her, but it was just like, what was the point of this?
Symbolism. No, I'm with you on that shit. I'm not for it. that was a huge topic of conversation. I did see that on the internet. A lot of people took issue with her appearance. They're like,
Somebody said
if-
they made y'all the face of obesity.
crazy. That just made me think about, you remember when CNN, like during the pandemic, they made that random dude the face of unemployment?
I don't remember.
Bro, you don't remember that?
All I
That was
remember
the
from the
funniest
pandemic is
thing.
the news is that damn molecule where it's red and purple.
With the big
with the crowns and everything. Yeah.
everything coming out. No.
That's
but
all
bro,
I remember from the news, bro.
Bro, no. This was like during the time, like unemployment had reached a peak during the pandemic. These CNN took a random nigga on Twitter's profile picture and had it on the story on the news, bro.
Really?
They made this nigga the face of unemployment. Random nigga, bro. Had nothing to do with this shit.
Was he like updating tweets and everything like every week or something?
It was so funny.
Or was it just like one tweet or they
That
just
nigga
took his
see-
picture?
That nigga see the story. It was like, yo, what the fuck? Hey, CNN, take this shit down.
You gotta find
Nobody said y'all
Yeah.
can use my picture, nigga.
that put me.
Bro, that's what you just said that about that statue. It made me think about that. That shit was so funny, but it's so messed up. It was a black dude too. They made a black dude the face of unemployment.
Of
So
course they
that's
did.
what made me think.
Of course.
As
they
you
did.
saying that about a black woman, I bringing it back, right? Yeah, symbolism. We looking for substance. We looking for actual economic change. That's why, again, with this platform, what we want to do is talk about the principles of building wealth and the principles of maintaining and growing. We're going to continue to do things like what we did with last week's episode and bring in some phenomenal people who've done amazing things. But we're also going to keep doing this for you guys, where we give you actionable and real stuff, right? We've shared stuff with our real lives. We on the ground. We boots on the ground with it. No lion dance. We ain't no fans and all that shit. We here. We grinding. We building. And we along on that journey with y'all. I just don't want us to look at that clip and something like that where we saying black excellence is a scam and get too woke and start losing the plot. All that aside, right? Big Mensa a millionaire. Been one for over a decade now. So, like
I still don't know what he does.
he was in music real heavy. Vic Mensa like kind of gave the music stuff up.
Gotcha. I ain't gonna lie, I always get Vic Mensa and what's that other nigga name?
So my Chance,
No.
they came up around the same time. Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper.
Vince.
Vince Staples. I can
Yes.
see that.
I
can
get
see
those
that.
two confused.
The names is the names.
Is the Vince and the Vic for sure.
Yeah. Those niggas look nothing alike though.
No, they don't. I know what they look like, but their names are always like, yeah. It's hilarious.
But yeah, man. Did you want to go into the other one, or what you want to do, man?
We can wrap it up because we had an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pod. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish rubbing your eye. That bitch going to town on that eye. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. This is gonna wrap up the show for today. As always, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you for being listeners of the show. If you made it to this point in the show and you haven't already, go ahead, leave us that 5-star rating and review.
Click that subscribe button, join the notification, anything. If y'all on Apple Podcasts, click download, all of those things. I need it all.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, I'm gonna hit y'all with that. What did the 5 fingers say to the face when I see you?
And David got a big ass hand. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now.
I'm just saying. Look my hand, look my head. Both of them big. You don't want these problems. Leave that rating and review. But
Hey,
nah,
man,
man,
I told you gonna stop threatening our podcast listeners, man.
Well,
I
what
ain't
you
gonna have
do
that shit
about
no
it?
more.
What you gonna do about
I ain't
it,
gonna
man?
have that shit no more, man. I'm riding behind y'all. Y'all just don't make me look foolish.
All I gotta say is, y'all, me and Jalen still got this bet going too.
Yes, sir.
We are on week 2.
I haven't weighed
I broke-
myself yet.
I broke my fast yesterday, you know what I'm saying? So I ate. I'm back. I'm just down net 2 pounds after eating. You know how that go after you fast. Your weight be mad down, and then you eat again and go up.
Yeah.
But we gonna see who gonna rock the freaky man, Jalen or David. Who y'all?
Not
we had
me, man. I ain't rocking
taking
no freaky
bets.
man, dog. I gotta tell my
Yeah.
wife about this because I still never told her.
She gonna make you go work out hard. Jalen, you bet not lose that bet. Yeah, you don't need to welcome your child in the world with the freaky man beard. Bro.
Nah,
That's
it's
not what you need to be
my
doing.
facial hair would be grown by then. But I'm not losing. I'm not planning on losing. So
I don't know, man. You've been talking like a loser, bro.
you got me tripping. You got me messed up, dog. Yeah, nah.
Yes, indeed. But Jalen, you got any closing words for the good people?
Nah, not this week. I don't really have anything like special. I will just say a prayer. But I will say also thank you to the listeners. Thank y'all for supporting us. Thank y'all for being by our side every step of the way. Without y'all, we are nothing. And I'll get into that prayer. I'm just gonna say, Lord, please just use me. Place the words on my heart. I ask that you just allow me to be a blessing. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us this episode again. Thank you for blessing any of our listeners. We ask that you allow them to achieve all of their goals, whether it be financial, whether it be mentally, whether it be spiritually, whether it be if it's building a family, getting to that next level in business. I ask that you just show them, give them, guide them, allow them to achieve all things through you, allow them to experience your abundance and your grace and your blessings. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. From his lips to God's ears, y'all.
Yes,
Until
sir.
next time, this is BWR signing out.
Peace.
Peace.